What is going on, guys? Skism here. So what I'm going to be doing in this little episode is building a base and showing you guys how to set up a kind of cool base idea. Some of you guys will know this, I might be leaving out a few things, but I'm going to show you some little tips and tricks hopefully you guys haven't seen before, and also some strategies I think are really good at baiting your enemy into coming to attack you, so you can bait them into coming to attack you, and through a few little sneaky things, if they play into your bait, you can really just eliminate their whole, like all their dinosaurs, or really, you know, catch them off guard if you kind of do this little technique. But before I get to that, I'm just going to build a base, and once I get this kind of set up and so you guys can see it, then I'll start going through all of the, the different tips, the way you can set up the foundation, the outskirts with pillars, plant species, turrets, the inside of your base, the way you should lay it out, or all that stuff. I'm going to go through some of the traps, all that stuff, catwalks, catwalks coming out through behemoth gates where you put your turrets, plant species, how to have them set up, the wiring inside your base. So you got to make it harder for the enemy to raid you, and if they do get into your base, make sure they're not able to kind of get to your wiring or your electrical cables and take you out. So I'll kind of get a foundation going, guys, and then I'll kind of cut to that next. So guys, what some of you guys might already know or not know is, but when you have your electrical work, a lot of people, you might have it on the floors like this or above your ceilings, but once people get into your base, they can have access to it. So what you can do is turn on, make sure get your electricity, put your electricity cables running underneath your floors. I'm just doing this as an example. You can have your generator in a better spot, but just for argument's sake, and then just say you get your foundations down, electricals are running underneath it. But what you can do after that then is with your pillars, if it links up, you can run your pillars up too. So you can have multiple points as well for electrical cables, have many different generators powering it all up, so even if they get into one. But the idea is that they can't actually get to your electrical cable work unless they're destroying metal. So you can do this all the way around the outskirts of your base at different points, all the way out. You can even do it on the inner level if you guys want to, just to create more, more room if you want to. But just for this video, I'm just showing you this small little concept, how you can run the electricity under there and through your metal ceilings. When I eventually get this base done, I'm not going to do it like this because it just takes me too long. But if you guys want that extra level of protection, you can definitely keep your power cords secured underneath the ceiling, underneath the floors. People won't know where your electrical cables are hidden because they're going to be hidden inside metal objects. So this is just a little tip. Hopefully you guys find helpful. I'm going to eventually, don't mind the layout of the base. This is just something to help me get up to the higher levels when I get this base done, and hopefully you guys will just kind of get the idea of how to kind of have that I guess hidden electrical cable defense base. Okay guys, finally after a while I've been getting my base underway, kind of putting the concept of different ideas you can do to make your base more fortified. Now keep in mind, some of you guys, you might find some of these ideas useful, you don't know about them. Some of you guys are probably much better than me and you have better ideas. So if you do, put them down in the comments below, because I'm sure a lot of people will read this, and maybe some of you won't want to because you don't want to give too many people a PvP advantage. But this is just some simple tips that I've found helpful and that could work for you, and I will start from the outskirts of the base. Now what a lot of people can do these days, if you want to, you can set up pillar foundations, maybe make them a little bit higher just in case some dinos can get over. But instead of building behemoth gates, you can put down pillars instead. A lot of people like to do that. Maybe you might want to surround the front line of them in metal spikes and behind it in metal spikes. And what you might do is still put down dino gates, and maybe you might put down behemoth gates, so if they do blow through this, they're like, alright, we got through, sweet, send our dinos in, and then you're like, okay, crap, we've got more pillars here, so this can stop more dinosaurs coming in. The illusion that you've only got one gate of defense, but really you've got more protection on the outskirts there. If I just go into ghost mode here, this just allows me to kind of fly up a little bit here. If you guys want to, you can put, as you can see there, you can put your plant species on there if you want to ward them back. If you want to put the effort in and all the fertilizer, you can put them all the way across if you like, or up on the top of your behemoth gates. If you guys do want to wall off the behemoth gates, it's completely up to you. So this is just an example, just to give you a quick kind of overlay of what you can do. Obviously I haven't gone around the whole outskirts of the base here. This is just some examples that hopefully you guys find helpful. Maybe you'll put down some of the big large bear traps, so when they do come in, you can really try and eliminate the gigas coming for you. Now this is a sort of setup you might see on a lot of different bases. Maybe you won't. You can do whatever order you like, but essentially what I've got here is turret, plant species, turret, plant species, turret, and I'll just go in and I'll I'll show you what I mean. You obviously put doors here as well, so let's get the walk going. So you put doors here so you can open and close them, but this just gives you access to the turrets really easily if you need to put bullets in them, and they're all on the outskirts of the base. And you can put them with your catwalks, and you can have them all the way around the whole outskirts of your base here. And so this is a cool kind of defense if you guys want to, you know, have a massive amount of, you know, protection, and you can do it all the way up if you guys like. I didn't do it all the way up just because it was just taking so long. And what I'd recommend, maybe you might start and have the turrets up a little bit higher. And what I've also done, which you might find a little bit helpful, just got apologies there. So what you might find yourself doing is you might be raising the turrets or the plant species up a little bit higher, and you can put them all the way up here. But another little secret what people might not know about, or maybe you do, is if you put a fence foundation next to it, if you have a look here, it gives you that extra wall of protection. So if you guys want to put you know, a fence foundation all around the outskirts and put it a couple high, just say, like you can see here, that's too high all the way around. It means if they're blowing in, they won't get through your first layer, and they've got to go through another layer. Maybe you might lay it full of spikes, or if I run around here, don't worry about this, this is just an idea, a concept. I could be probably going around and doing it all, but just to show you, what you might do is you might have a second wall. So if you have a look, you've got one wall here, a second wall here, and you can have it all the way around there. So it's not just getting through one wall, they've got to go through another wall, then they've got to go through the third layer of wall, and it's not really gonna, you know, they've just got to use a lot of, you know, C4 and nades just to get through. And on top of that, you'll have an inner layer shell, which I'll show you a little bit later and explain. Actually, no, I can show you right now. So what I've done normally with the base, what you do is you have an inner shell like this. So, you know, you can have whatever you want here, spikes, traps, or whatever you like, nothing in your inside the base. So you've always got like a two layers just there. But if you want to add those extra layers of security, you can put a fence foundation all the way around the outskirts of your base. So I'll come to the front of the base here. Alright guys, so we've got turrets that come through the behemoth gates, and if you guys are unsure how to do this, I'll show you how to do this real quickly. Now this is a good little technique because a lot of people like to raid through the behemoth gates. Now what you can do is just put, you know, a ceiling along here, or, you know, ceilings along from one side to the other, and you just put a catwalk out, and, you know, you can have the doors closed or open, and you can just put the miniguns there, or the turrets there, and it's that simple. That allows you to have the turrets there that point out, and it's that little bit extra defense on that side, less, because, you know, sometimes you might not have that many turrets because you've only got them at the side here. You can put a lot more all the way up or all the way around. It's really up to you. So this is just a little tip just in case some of you don't know that. Now keep in mind, some people when they have a base, the reason why I've done it like this is most people will have, you know, one layer into the side of the wall. So people might all have two layers. They might have two layers inside the wall. So people will just come through the front door. So if you got one behemoth gate, they'll just go through and they'll be in your base. So what I've done is I've set it out so we've got 3 behemoth gates. Maybe you can put it to have 4 behemoth gates to actually get into your base, because if you have all those fence foundations around your outskirts and you have 4 or 5 layers, it's just going to be as hard to go through the side as it is through the front. For this one, I've put, you know, 3 behemoth gates. You can put more if you want. You can put windows in here where you have turrets where if they do get through one gate, they've got turrets on the side to try and get through. And this is just like, I don't know, some people might do this, some people might not do this, but most bases that I've raided, they've only ever had 1 behemoth gate, and once you get through that, you've sort of got free reign inside their base. But that's okay. What you can do is if you do come inside the base, what you want to do, this is just a crappy outlay, however you want to set it up inside is completely up to you, but I'd recommend set it up better than this. This was just easy for me to just kind of go around, but you might have turrets set up in here. You definitely set this up differently to this. Don't base your inside like this. This is just, you know, quickly kind of get something done. But the idea is that you would have turrets inside, so if people do break into your base, they can attack you. I mean, so the turrets can attack them if they break in. I've been a bit slack here. I haven't walled it all off, but as you can see down there, it's walled off. But you'd actually wall up all the way up to the top of the ceiling, so then you can have that extra layer of protection, 2 walls thick. And if you got it at the front, you know, you got that extra level there. Now it's a bit slack with the way where I put my generators here with the power and stuff like that. You'd put them in better positions, or maybe put them to the side and build around them. I was just trying to do it real quickly to kind of give you the idea, the concept, because as you can see, we run the electricity cords underneath foundations. We run them up through pillars, and you can get that extra level of protection. But a really cool idea is what what I think some people should try. Maybe people will catch on. But you know when people come to raid you and they think they have you, or you let them blow into the base and they're starting to get into your walls and you're starting to run out of bullets and they've got their dinos really close, what you need to do is have a little post set up like this. Maybe you'd have them on all four corners. Maybe you might set up more. Maybe you might make them a little bit higher and have more. But what the idea of this is, this little post, I'll show you real quickly, is just say that they're kind of coming to their bases, they're getting through, you're at your weak stage, they've got the dinosaurs on the front line, they got through one of your behemoth gates. What you can do, and this might work as like a little extra defense. Oops, so what we do is we'll go open, I'm just going to just say put the code in 2222, and you have them activated. So what this will do is if I get there, it'll open up these turrets, like a wall full of turrets that they may have not known about, and you can bait people in. So maybe you can have them open so people can shoot at them, but maybe you want to hide them away, and you've got just say another base set up here. And what I've done is I've got the power cords that run underneath the foundation so it can't be taken out. Maybe it has its own generator in there, but it'll make noise, so people might think, okay, there's something electronic in here, so then they will try and blow into it just because there might be obviously something electronically. But you can put these up massively higher. You can have turrets here. This might be a fun or a good idea. It's really up to you guys if you think this would be fun, but I think this would be a really good idea if you had a few of these around the corners of your base and you made them maybe a little bit higher. I don't know, people might not expect them. If they're small, they might just be like, okay, what's that? It's obviously got nothing in there, no dinos, I can't hear anything, and they'll go for your main base. And if they've got all these dinosaurs and players that are like right here at your front door, and then you pop that open, you activate, and you have it on all the corners, you can just shred them, you just crazily kill them. Crazily, I don't know. Anyway, that's just an idea, it's a concept. Remember, these are just little suggestions, little ideas you guys might find helpful. This is just another idea. Have the electric cord run along there. You can build it all the way through. As you can see, just got some stuff there, but that's just another small idea what you guys can do. I'm flying up to the roof, guys. What you might want to do when you have a roof or a ceiling, you might want to put a few extra layers, make it 3 or 4 levels, because some people might try and blow in through the roof, whether they do the C4 bombs or try and do that. So you'll have some levels here, so you might put a few levels, extra ceilings there. And maybe when you do have your base in the interior, set it up in a way where there's multiple rooms, multiple doors. They've really got to exhaust all their resources just to get through to your base. And of course, which I haven't put it here, you can put your plant species on top, have some turrets on the top of your roof. If you do not have turrets on the top of your roof, people can just fly in, they're going to blow through your base, and they're just going to have free reign. So even if they get through the first level, they'll be in your base. So what you want to do is have levels there, and sometimes what some people might do as well, in each level that they have, you'll put some turrets just in there, just for a little bit extra protection. So that's just some other ideas there. So guys, this is just some tips and tricks I have for setting up your base. Some of you guys might find these ideas helpful. Some of you might be able to set up bases much better than this, but this is just a few different concepts that you guys might want to implement into your base. Obviously, at the time of me recording this, I'm actually in Europe now, guys. So I'm in Europe partying it up. I'm not sure when I'm going to release this exactly, because this will be pre-made footage. But if you want to come follow me, you can come, join me on Facebook or, Twitter or Instagram, any one of those social media platforms if you guys want, and see what I'm getting up to on my trip. And definitely put down in the comments below, guys, any other ideas that you have which might make your base better. There's still so much more you can do to a base, but I thought I'd quickly make a little video about this, because this, it might be helpful to some people out there. And if it helps one person, well, I guess this video might be worth it. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.